Right. Let me get you guys the notes for those of you who might not have it up yet. So you know what we're working with agenda-wise. But I'm here to welcome our new folks. Yay, hence the background. So let me get those links for you here. So we are welcoming today Highland City in Utah, Whiting Library in Vermont, Lake Worth Beach City Library in Florida, Greater Manchester Integrated Library Group, which is my local library here in New Hampshire, Cuyahoga County Public Library in Ohio, and Evansville Vanderburgh Public Library in Indiana. So everybody welcome. If you're here, point yourself out. You just survived implementation and did a great job. All right, I think next on the agenda, we got Jordan.
All right, I will share my screen again. So we have, let's see, there's the share button. So we have our priority planning and review, just talking about what we did last time and what we said we were going to do last time, and then comparing that to what we actually got done, as well as our plan for the next release. So you can see on the left, we said that we were working on the LIDA barcode and checkout, and we actually did get that done. I changed that to barcode checkout part 1, since I knew that we'd worked with partners. We'd only planned to do the part 1, but I just wanted to make that abundantly clear. All the evergreen integration updates that we were planning on doing, we got done. The improvements for the consortium administration, some of that is like the locks that Mark was showing you, where you can lock down specific fields as a consortium administrator. We did some, obviously, but we're gonna do a little bit more on that. So I went ahead and put working on that for that one. Of course, you saw how long those release notes were. Most of those were high priority bugs or partner priorities. Those are always on there. It's ongoing. There were 2 other ones that I just wanted to call out, that we didn't call out and felt like big enough features that they deserved a little bit of a call out. That was the forgot barcode, and that was for both Discovery and LIDA. And then the forgot password for LIDA that we already had for Discovery, as well as the export to CSV works for, this is all tables, is actually most tables within Aspen administration. That was something that lots of folks had asked for various tables. So just wanted to call that out. For next time, we're going to continue, like I said, those improvements for consortium administration. We have some user interface updates that we're going to be making. I'll be going through those in detail, so I'm not going to say too much about that here. Again, the high priority things from partners and bugs. Our Symphony group, you hear us talking about our community groups all the time. They have some updates that are going to be a little bit extensive that they want to their self-registration form because of how the self-registration form works in Symphony. I don't know that we're going to get all of those done. We'll at least do a few of those. So I put a little part 1 on there, but we'll get started on that. And then our stretch goal is to start on the Palace project and the Hoopla Flex integration. Normally, we only would do 1 e-commerce integration at a time, but we have 2 that need to be done right now. And our developers then can kind of touch the same areas of the code once and do it for both projects. Because they're doing 2 at a time, it might take a little bit longer to do it. So I wouldn't necessarily expect to see this one next month, but we are hoping to be able to get started on it. So that is our release plan for for 2310. I'm gonna just check the chat, see if we have anything before moving on with the agenda. Looks like we're good. So I will talk to you a little bit more about these easy updates to the UI. Now, over time, we all know designs change. What once looked amazing and new and modern starts to look a little old and dated. So what we want to do is we're definitely updating the defaults for Aspen. So any new libraries will get these changes by default. For our existing partners, we're going to give you a quick and easy way to make these changes if you want. So the way these changes are going to look is once you get probably 2310. Again, the development's not done, so we never know, but we're planning it for 2310. If you are an administrator that has a high level of permissions, basically if you have run database updates, you will get an alert at the top of your Aspen screen that says, hey, we have these new interface updates. Would you like to apply them? And you can click yes or no. So you can apply them or not apply them because we don't want to change your UI. And I know a lot of you have a lot of customizations. We want to make it easy to change, but if you have the customizations and just want to make those changes one at a time, you can make those changes one at a time. We'll make that possible for you. And we'll also link to either the release notes or something that explains what those changes are. But if you don't have a lot of customizations and you just want to say, yes, please make my interface modern, you can just click that button and go. So these changes that I'm describing right now are what's going to be a part of that alert. So the first is the floating cover style. This is different than the one that has the little border around it, but you can see the example right here where we just have a little bit of a shadow, a drop shadow behind it, and the covers look nice and modern and pop out. So that's the first change. The second change, the other thing I should say is each of these have configuration options. So if you don't want them, you can apply all of them and then unapply them. They can be changed. We have the search tools right here. The search tools originally were these kind of hidden links in the bottom. If you still see that your search tools where you have email this search or export to CSV is at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and move these to the top. So you have this search tools button that you see at the top. And when you click on it, you get the search tools options that you see on the screen. This is the one exception to what I was saying earlier. This is not a configuration option right now. And no one that we know of has really changed the style of these, but they look really, really old. You can see the old style there on the left. We have the new Font Awesome style star style on the right. Font Awesome is the same. Those are the same icons that are used throughout Aspen and that you can choose for like your menu links. We're going to go ahead and update these for everyone. We don't think you need a configuration option for the style of these stars. We're just going to give you a modern style, and then we should be good to go there. So this is the one thing that you will get automatically, and we'll just make your site look a little fresher and a little newer. Next are the display covers for editions. So again, it's a configuration option, but we've gotten a lot of feedback from folks that they really like these covers. So if you click that button that you'll get in Aspen administration, it will automatically switch settings so that you have this view. But if you don't like it, you have the option to turn it off as well. We've talked about this one quite a lot. This was something that our Aspen community group worked on. So I'm not going to say a lot more about it here, except to say that it's included within these changes. The next one is the updates is enabling this new badge. This is something I believe we did last year, but it still requires you to turn it on. We have a number of libraries that never went in and turned it on. Maybe they missed the gathering where we talked about it. So it's something that we just want to promote as, hey, this is a really good service for your patrons. They should know when something is new within the last week at your library, and the default for it will now be on just to show these new badges. I believe that is it. Are there any questions before we hand it back over, or we hand it over to Miranda? I don't see anything in the chat. So Miranda, you're next.
All right, this one will be pretty fast because it was mentioned a little bit in the updates, but for 2309, there are two things that I am formally asking everybody, particularly if you are a non-Koha library, to help me test some of the things to make sure release day goes smoothly. So the first would be scan to checkout in Lida, and I've written up a few tests for you guys, in particular because a bunch of you will have to verify this after deploy if you don't have a test server. So because it's on and off, I wanted to just let you know what you should expect and how to test this. And if you were going to test it, you might want to do so after hours if you do not have a test server. So I wrote those tests out. What you should see happening there should help you out to get going on that if you do have to tweak hours about when this does get tested. And the second would be the barcode and username split. If you do use that, where are my links? They've disappeared. All right, so it is this one. This is more or less a list of things, folks. If you could help me review, but again, particularly if you are a non-Koha library, it'd be helpful if you could help me look at certain actions in Aspen post once you get this in your test server, if you have it, or after deploying, just to make sure they look okay with both barcode or username. And yeah, that's basically it for me. So if you have questions, I'm going to be posting these in the testing channel in the partner Slack as well, and you can talk to me there about how it's going too. And yeah, back to Jordan, I think.
Thanks, Miranda, and thanks to everyone that helps us test with these. With all the different ILSs, it's always great to have as much testing as we can as possible. And in a lot of cases, only you have access to test those. Um, okay, finally, Aspen Con has gotten back together in the committee, and we got a lot done at our last meeting. The theme for Aspen Con is officially, we decided on getting together, since we're getting together for the first time. We'd announced this previously, but it wasn't official, but now it is. The dates will be March 13th to 15th in the Denver area. We're still nailing down the exact location, but the idea is that we'll be in an area where the hotel is within walking distance of eating and socializing and other things is our goal there. There will not be a conference registration fee, other than the fee, of course, to get there and stay. The call for presentations we're working on right now, it will be available by the next Aspen gathering. What we've talked about for presentation formats is most of them will be 30-minute presentations with a 15-minute Q&A and then breaks afterwards. I should say that these presentations will be available to remote attendees. So we do plan to have a remote component. We'll also have lightning sessions, so a little bit shorter. The exact length of those we haven't quite decided on yet. And then we will also have some workshop sessions. It'll kind of depend on what we get for submissions, whether that's maybe the last day or the second, a day and a half. We're going to wait and see what submissions, but those are for in-person attendees to be able to do some hands-on things. Sometimes these are called hackathons, but people don't like the word hack, so we were calling them workshop sessions, or a chance to maybe learn something and do something with your own Aspen site. I think I said this, but the presenters should actually be in person, but there will be an online component. So that's great. Anybody can attend. You saw a little preview with Mark there showing the poll of the topics people want presentations on. So if maybe you want to do a presentation, maybe you just want to really learn about something, we're going to try to match those people up. So if you really want to learn about side loads, we're going to talk to some people who have done some really great things in side loading to see if maybe we can get some of those presentations together. If you want to join us in planning, we are always happy to have more. We had a couple new folks join us at the last meeting. There is a planning committee sign up there. And yeah, please come, please help. It's going to be fun. We're super excited for this very first Aspen Con. So with that, I will stop sharing. And I think I'm the next one too. We just don't have a slide for that one. The next is just a reminder for the Aspen community meetings. They're all listed right there. The big one is the Aspen community meeting. I call it the big one because that's for everyone. That's where we make the big decisions on the things that the community really wants for Aspen Discovery. We have a number for individual ILSs. New this month is for Carl X users. We have 2 Carl X libraries, and they're getting together to talk to see what Aspen can do for Carl X. And then we had a hiatus, a little bit of the cataloging and grouped works group, but that one is back and will be meeting on September 21st. So with that, I am done and I can hand it over to Elise.
All right. Well, we will also be a lot of places in September. So we are going to be at the Koha US conference, September 20 to 23rd. Registration is still open and there's online participation options, but Portsmouth, New Hampshire is supposed to be awesome. So if you can go, go. And then we'll also be at the Ohio Library Council Convention and Expo, September 27th to 29th. So if you're in Ohio, we would love to see you there. October, we're going to be all over the place. It's way too much to talk about, but Arizona, Arkansas, Kansas, Virginia, Illinois, New England, like it's crazy. We're going to be so busy. So hopefully we'll see you at one of those conferences. And then just wanted to plug real quick our community give back program. Every month we give $500 to a library to support gaps in their funding. And that funding can be used to support programming, collections, outreach, or any combination of the above items. So the link is in the agenda right there. It's a super easy application process. It doesn't take long at all. And we have September picked, but we're still looking for peeps for October, November, December, and onwards. So please, please apply. We would love to see an application. And that's it for me. I'll turn it back over. Thanks so much. Unless Jesse has anything to add. See you here, Jesse. All right. Thank you.
All right, cool. Looks like we're in open time then. If anyone has anything to say, I do not have Jeopardy music still, so we're just gonna have to stare at each other until someone speaks.
The next community meeting is September 19th, I believe. I'll put a link to that agenda in the community channel in the Aspen Slack.
Oh, there's a question in the chat. Any updates on the more like this adjustments?
That's something we talked about at the catalogers. Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
We talked about it within the community group, and it's something that's coming. Where we just have a backlog of some things we need to get through that we've been promising for a while. I think I've been promising Palace Project at this point for more than a year. But the idea is that we tackle that. We start to tackle those pieces shortly after the things that I talked about today. And I think this very start of that, if you're wondering what we'd see first, would be like the separation of the graphic novels art out of the titles that have the same title and author. And then we'll need to have some community groups in order to community groups with the greenhouse to be able to link those to show them more like this within Aspen. But yes, that's something the community group's been talking about and something we're planning to do quite soon.
I just wanted to thank everybody. I realized I forgot, but I want to thank everybody who contributed. Obviously, Bywater staff contributed. Tech A Solutions contributed to this release, and James from Nashville has contributed to code this release cycle. So thank you, of course, to all of our developers, and thank you to everybody that helps us test and that kind of thing. So it's amazing. We can't do it without all of you.
Are we good? Does anyone else have anything? Uh-oh, Bill's waving. I hope you guys know that means it's over. All right, we'll see y'all.
Thanks, everyone.